Hey everyone, it's James, also known as Flagman, and welcome to my retrospective of the 2023 Sizzle season of Splatoon 3. If you're interested in reliving some of your summertime memories in Splatoon 3, keep watching. This video is going to be a recap about everything, and I mean everything, that happened from 1st June to 31st August, and my overall opinions on the season as it happened. This is slowly becoming a tradition. Every time 3 months around this year, I reflect on everything that has been going on in the Splatoon 3 games where I give my opinions on stuff that has happened. I have been reminiscing about my memories since March of this year, and I feel like every season has something that can make or break the fanbase. This was a pretty controversial season. Was this season really great, or was it relatively okay? We'll find out. If you enjoy content like this, please drop a like and also subscribe and turn your notifications on to see more cool content like this, so I hope you enjoy it. Anyways, let's get into the retrospective. The Sizzle season debuted on the 1st of June 2023, and with it came 11 weapon kits. 2 of these main weapons were new: the S-Blast 92, a blaster based off the Super Nintendo Super Scope, and a new brush weapon, the Paintbrush, the first new brush weapon to be added into the game since the first Splatoon. As for the weapon kits themselves, we got the Paintbrush with Curling Bomb and Wave Breaker, the S-Blast 92 with Sprinkler and Reslider, the Tentasorel Umbrella with Inkmai and Trizuka, the custom Dual-Ollie Squelchers with Squid Beacon and Super Chump, the light Tetra Dual-Ollies with Sprinkler and Zipcaster, the heavy Splatling Deco with Point Sensor and Cracker Royale, the H3 Nozzle Nose D with Splashwall and Big Bubbler, the Rapid Blaster Pro Deco with Angle Shooter and Killroll 5.1, the Satana Wiper Deco with Squid Beacon and Tenta Missiles, the Inaki Splattershot Nova with Inkmai and Inkjet, and a Big Swig Roller Express with Angle Shooter and Ink Storm. When a lot of these kits were revealed, there was some dissatisfaction within the Splatoon fanbase, but when these kits came out, there was a lot of approval, especially the S-Blast 92, which comes with 2 fiery modes, a longer standard shot when walking and a shorter powerful shot when jumping, and the other kits synchronized it surprisingly well. Also, while Nintendo had intended to return League Battle in a Splatoon 3 and entertain notions of the feature being added in future updates, it eventually got replaced by challenges. This is an awesome game mode where there are certain gimmicks added to how the stage functions, such as the stage having maybe fog hindering your vision, or you can only use certain types of weapons events, or just try to get the highest score overall. It's a really cool game mode, and if you win 5 matches, you can get yourself a pearl that you can use on the shell machine. However, this mode is extremely controversial due to the fact that the challenges are only run 3 times a day and 2 hours each time. I won't say this is entirely bad about challenge mode, but to be honest, it would be nice if the challenge was one 24-hour session. Like I said, I don't think this mode is bad, but could just be improved on in a future installment. I like the challenges because it literally is Nintendo responding positively to the videos online, people in private battles playing Splatoon 2 with various self-imposed rules and turning it into a legitimate game mode, even if the execution wasn't perfect. League Battle also, I would say, has been pseudo-succeeded by Anarchy Battle Open, as it now shows rankings and Anarchy Power for teams who have played together for at least 5 consecutive battles. While we're on the topic of cosmetic changes being added into the game, they added stage-specific dialogue into the Anarchy Splatcast announcements, giving the newscast in this game some character, something that several folks in Splatoon fanbase want since the first 2 games did that as well. There are over 5 different stage-specific dialogues for the 18 stages, and I'm sure everybody has been trying to find them all. Also, for you Splatoon music fans out there, 3 new songs were added into the game, all by a new band called Yoko and the Gold Bazookas, a side project started by Yoko, the trumpeter for Ink Theory. The 3 songs are titled Ska Blam, Freehorn Circus, and Rockagilly Blues. That last one sounding awfully similar to Are You Gonna Be My Girl by the Australian rock band Jet. Nice to see them add 3 new multiplayer tracks, because I think we all had gotten enough of our socks getting damned via Pearl and Marina. Also, you can now fist bump people. Everyone tried doing different things to see how it would work out, and I think we've all come to this conclusion. Basically, 2 people have to have compatible emotes and have free gold medals. We got some really nice new locker customizations as well, with my personal favorites being the Nintendo consoles they added from the catalog. We get ourselves Nintendo's first 4 home consoles, alongside a Game Boy and a Game & Watch. Definitely worth grinding that catalog for. And I know some of you folks really don't like the catalog system, but let me explain how the catalog system in Splatoon 3 works. Basically, as you play through the game, you'll not only get experience points, but also catalog points, which get doubled if you play during a big run, Splatfest, or the closeout bonus in the catalog that takes place during the final 7 days of the season. If you win a match or you complete a round of salmon run, your catalog gets a 1 level boost, meaning if there's only one awesome thing you like out of the catalog, you don't have to waste a lot of time trying to get it. And after a season ends, all the stuff that was in the catalog will be added into the shops for clothes, cells and lots of customizations and a sell machine for banner cells and emotes. So even if you end up not completing the catalog by the time the season ends, you won't miss out on anything. Case in point, if you get locker decorations or stickers from the shell machine, you will always get stuff that you have not yet obtained. And as such, you'll get a really expensive item from Atlantis for a much cheaper price, and will avoid situations where you'll get an expensive item from Atlantis only to get a much cheaper duplicate from the machine. Alright, now let's talk about the 3 new maps. 2 regular stages and 1 salmon run stage. The first map was Barnacle and Dime, an entirely new stage set inside a mall. I guess this is the successor map to Arowana Mall. I don't be surprised if that's the case, as I suspect that any Splatoon 1 map that was in Splatoon 2 will probably not be coming back. Sorry to burst your bubbles, Splatoon 1 fans, but Humpback Pump Track, returning from Splatoon 2, was added in as well, receiving absolutely no changes whatsoever. Considering the overwhelmingly negative reactions to the Splatoon 3 iteration of Mahi Mahi Resort due to being an entirely new layout, but with the same exact idea, many of the new returning maps added back in received almost minimal changes, with the only minor change among any map having to be the elevation was reduced in several areas of Flounder Heights, but at least it was well received. Even though Hammerhead Bridge has been ridiculed and singled out for its design, it at least is more justified because it's been 7 years since Splatoon 1 and construction has been finished. In addition, we got ourselves a new Salmon Run map, Jammin' Salmon Junction, which is set on an old abandoned highway converted into a live music venue. Wait. If the Salmon Run stages added in are literally salmon territory and we're stealing the salmon row, Grisco Industries is responsible for all the big runs that have been going on in Salmon Run every 3 months. We had 2 events take place in Salmon Run, the first one being another big run on Undertow Spillway. Yes, the same map that was used for Tricolor Turf War and the Spicy vs. Sweet vs. Sour Splatfest, proving my hypothesis of how the maps were designed for Splatoon 3. I touched upon this topic back in my Fresh Season 2023 Retrospective, where I talked about how the maps in Splatoon 3 were designed, and I think my hypothesis was correct, that the maps were designed to also facilitate Big Run and Tricolor Turf War, in addition to being multiplayer maps. Undertow Spillway Big Run may have been easy for some people, but for me and a couple of other friends I was playing alongside, we constantly got destroyed to the point that I dropped 2 ranks in Salmon Run. Additionally, because all big runs use random weapons, the boss salmon for this big run was randomized as well. You can get stuck with either Kohozuna, who's very big but is at least easy to defeat with a well-coordinated team, or Horoboros, who's extremely long and is tough to defeat since you must attack its mouth and it flies over the stage. I ended up playing a ton of Salmon Run after that big run so I could regain my professional rank. The other Salmon Run event we had was Extra Work. In Extra Work, you must complete a predetermined 5-way shift to Salmon Run. This season's shift consisted of normal high tide, Mothership mid tide, normal low tide, Quahog charge low tide, and normal mid tide. Additionally, Extra Work also has a predetermined weapon layout. This Extra Work had Splat Dualize with Reslider, Slosher with Crab Tank, Splat Brella with Triple Ink Strike, and Heavy Splatling with Wave Breaker. While I did get a bronze sticker during my last run Extra Work, I just missed the bronze rank of 143, my highest score was 141. I did like this Extra Work shift, but I wish it did not take place during Canada Day weekend. Also, let me break the retrospective for 1 second and share a cool fact to everybody. Similar to how the challenge mode came to be, Extra Work and Big Run was based off this fan-made game in Splatoon 2 Salmon Run called Overfishing. In this minigame, players try to see not only if they can get enough roe, the salmonid eggs, to meet the quota each round, but if they can get as much roe as they can during a Salmon Run shift. It turns out that considering Salmon Run's overwhelming popularity in the game, it is surprising that Nintendo decided to make this an official game mode. Now, of course, it's time to get to what I think personally are the best events in Splatoon, the Splatfests. Our first one for Sizzle Season was announced in a Nintendo Direct on 21st June, being a theme that was requested by many people. Ice cream. The choices were vanilla, strawberry, or mint chip, with the Splatfest taking place during the weekend of 15 to 16 July. I did see some people complete bafflement as to why mint chip, the team I was on, was the third flavor instead of chocolate, but let's consider this. The Splatfests are now all global instead of regional as they were in the first 2 Splatoon games. The regions of Splatoon are Japan, the Americas, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, Israel, South Africa, and South Korea, China. The last one was added in Splatoon 3. Originally, each region had its own themed Splatfest with occasional shared worldwide fests, but now the Splatfests are all worldwide. This caused Americans quite the confusion with the mayo versus ketchup Splatfest, since Americans don't really eat mayonnaise. The American debate of this would be more along the lines of ketchup versus mustard. But that's only because Americans love hot dogs, and not only because of mustard, but mainly because of the way the wiener slides into the bun easily without getting hard or tight. Mint Chip was the third team, replacing chocolate, not only because Nintendo did a chocolate Splatfest for Valentine's Day, but also because Nintendo is headquartered in Japan, and in several countries such as Japan, Korea, and my homeland of Canada, mint chocolate is a very popular ice cream flavor. Believe it or not, Team Vanilla ended up winning the Splatfest and got almost 2/3 of the vote. Mint Chip got 25% of the vote, and Team Strawberry only got 20% of the vote. And the Splatoon community was not thrilled Shiver had won 3 Splatfests consecutively, but considering that this Splatfest took place the same weekend as the Nintendo of Europe Splatoon 3 European Championship France qualifiers, the Gridlock Splatoon in-person competition in New York, and when somebody put a drawing of a black-clad, blue-haired Inkman with a Splatana in Times Square's Jumbotron, this was a great weekend to be a Splatoon fan. The following Splatfest, on the other hand, was an absolute shocker. In what was a repeated Splatfest, the theme for the August 2023 Splatfest was money versus fame versus love, and everybody was on the mindset that Team Love would win again, since the last time Nintendo did the Splatfest, back when it was the money versus love Splatfest, it happened both in Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. Guess what happened in Splatoon 3? Team Money won in both tricolor clouds and votes. In addition to the Splatfest Sneak Peek event, which is where players try to get conch shells via leveling their catalogs up. I suspect the reason why Money ended up winning is mainly due to the fact that there were a lot of mirror matches experienced by non-Japanese players. A mirror match is a match in Splatfest where the same team fights against the same team. Considering Team Fame only got 9% of votes while Team Money won in popularity, Team Love was a very close second. Another reason I suspect Team Money is because many Japanese players chose it due to Japan's economy, which has become unstable since the 1990s, and while it has stabilized since, it is nowhere near the level it was during the 60s, 70s, and 80s, especially since Korea and China's economies are now on par with it. The state of Twirex afterwards among the Splatoon community was very ugly after that Splatfest for multiple reasons. First, this was Shiver's 4th consecutive win and her 6th overall. Second, Team Love had won the previous 2 times Nintendo had run the Splatfest, meaning Team Money's win truly must have been an upset victory. And 3, everybody around the internet frequently makes jokes about how Fry has, quote, the worst Splatfest teams. This is not actually true. Fry has actually won the popular vote multiple times, such as Team Sweet and Team Aliens, and many of Fry's teams usually have the second most popular vote. What happened with Team Fame was absolutely shocking, we'll say for sure. This isn't even getting to the ugly accusations by fans that Nintendo keeps quote-unquote giving the best options to Shiver. Nintendo isn't deliberately giving Shiver the best Splatfest teams, but themes that suit her personality, and the same thing applies to Fry and Bigman as well. I recently saw what the upcoming Splatfest is, and it doesn't look good. Considering that Shiver has won 4 consecutive Splatfests and could potentially win a 5th consecutive one, it's not going to be pretty at all. All I can say is, whatever the outcome is here, stay away from Twitter until at least a day after the Splatfest is over. That's something I've heard several Splatubers say to me. And that was the 2023 Splatoon 3 Sizzle season. And by extension, the entire first year of Splatoon 3. And at this point, I managed to find out the problem with the Splatoon fanbase currently. We're a year into the game now, and I think the best way to describe Splatoon 3 and how it is different from the previous 2 games is that it's an entirely new take on practically everything in Splatoon. It's set in a new area. There are only a few mainstay characters in the cast. The ranking system got overhauled, making it easy to attain ranks. There are many quality of life features added into the game, such as the locker room, the banners, the emotes, 24/7 salmon run, challenge mode, even if it is time limited, and a really awesome base game single player campaign, even if it's a little bit too close to auto expansion. And yes, I'm fully aware that the map design isn't good and the balancing and connection can be unreliable at times, but Splatoon 3 is overall peak Splatoon, and I sense that Splatoon 3 feels a lot similar to how Super Smash Bros. Brawl came out, a more casual-oriented installment in a beloved series that when released was disapproved by the fans when it came out, is now seen in a more positive light. I only hope things get better from here. I know Pufu put a thread on Twitter that I will link in the description. I won't go too into detail, but basically he states that what is currently going on right now and why we aren't really getting a whole lot of stuff is mainly because Sidor has been taking a lot of developers' time, and considering the reactions to Drizzle Season 2023 so far, as the time of writing this script, I suspect that after Sidor gets announced, there'll be a lot more events, a lot more weapons, and more cool things for Splatoon 3 afterwards, with fellow Splattuber Victoria Vic Vallon also chiming in on how Splatoon 2 went through the exact same phase Splatoon 3 is going in, considering that Splatoon 2 got a major boost in sales and popularity post-Auto expansion. I think that her and Fufu's statements might be correct. The Drizzle season has just started, and we have several events already planned out or even ongoing since it's the first anniversary of Splatoon 3. So my hope for the second year of Splatoon 3 is that it will continue to deliver amazingness. One more thing before I close this video is that I also want to address the complaints about the update cycle and my suspicion as to why the update cycle is slowed down in Splatoon 3. I suspect that because of how in the first two Splatoon games where updates would always take place every week, it probably put a lot of stress on the developers. And keep in mind, it takes a whole lot of folks to create a video game because there's so much more to the game besides gameplay. Nintendo, I suspect, adopted the seasons mechanic so as to not burn out the Splatoon team with the live service model that the game uses. And I predict that this will be a change going forward. They will be putting more time into everything created in the game world, such as the stages, music, and weapons, so as to not overwhelm development. And the events, such as big run Splatfests, extra work, and challenges to hold the fans over. And I understand for some of you viewers that can be very frustrating having to constantly wait because you just really want updates. You know and I know and everybody knows that Nintendo has some really cool plans and stuff to announce, but there's some stuff they cannot really announce right now. Well, that's all the time we got for this video. Thank you for watching this retrospective, and if you enjoy Splatoon content like this, please subscribe and click on the bell to get notified about any future videos, and also if you feel like it, comment down below on what is your favorite moment of Sizzle Season was, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you next time!